Well, we've officially started on the planter this year. Took the insecticide boxes off. I'm going to pull off all the tubes, all this crap back here, get the chains knocked off, take them out. Just more shit in the way, and honestly, ain't going to use it, so I have it on there. And then got to looking at, I'm going to change this cylinder because this ear right here, this thing is really boogered up pretty bad, and it can't really get the pin in and out of there because that ear's kind of tweaked that way. So I'm going to just put this one in the barn as a spare and get a new one of them and replace a couple hoses because that hose there's been rubbing on something for a while. All new chains. Sprockets look pretty good. I mean, they're not wore. I'm going to take a couple of them wheels off and look up in there and see what them look like. But the biggest thing we're going to take off tonight is all the dry fertilizer. As bad as it's rusted, I don't know. I just don't think it's worth leaving it on here. I'm going to switch to liquid one of these days anyway, so might as well go ahead and take them off. They're pretty rusty. I mean, they're just, I don't know. Had a guy help me kind of look it over, and he's like, I would probably highly advise taking those off because it's really not going to be useful, and they've set with stuff in them, and the screws are all rusted up. So take them off, get them out of the way, get all the fertilizer coulters off. Then I'm going to we were talking. So this thing has, like I stated in the video showing the planter, it's got, when you put it down, one marker arm goes down, you pick it up, the marker arm comes up, put it back down, the other one goes down. Well, I can change that with these T's. So I can actually take and put two hoses and run them straight up to the tractor, and then that way I've got one remote up, down, one remote runs your marker arms. So that way if I come up to a wash or something, I can raise the arm up and then put it down instead of, or in rows, having a marker arm, putting the tractor across already planted stuff, or point rows, I should say. So I think we're going to do that. That's not a tonight project. I'm gonna pull them hoses off and do that eventually, but that's a little later after I get all this shit off of it and get down to the goods of it. I'm gonna have to go find a pallet to put all this shit on so I can get it out of the shop. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through it, and then I'm gonna go through the units, pull a couple of the wheels off, look at the openers, see how bad they are, replace as needed, and then we're gonna do the double springs on these, heavy duty double springs, just to help with the down pressure of these no-till coulters. Those are gonna go on the front, and check bushings and all that stuff back here. And if I can, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade. Since I'm only going to have this set of boxes on here, I'm going to change these boxes out and do the new Kinze plastic boxes instead of these fiberglass ones, because these are getting kind of brittle. And one bad whack with something, and you got a hole through the side of one of them. So I'm going to think about changing those out. And they could probably do to be changed. I'll probably do the new poly boxes with extensions. So I hold a little more seed in the planter. But first things first, I think, I'll go ahead and I'm already started on this. I'm going to go ahead and take all this shit off, all 4 rows, get all the chains off, all the crap here off here, and then see where we get to from that. So anyhow, let's get cracking on this. Well, we got her stripped down, got all the insecticide off of it, took all the sprockets and all the drive mechanisms for all that, chains out of there. Got to do a little cleaning still, and we got all the fertilizer boxes off. That was kind of a trick. I haven't done those, so I had to learn them as I go. It had 2 bolts that actually went to this unit right here. It didn't have this U-bolt, but I stole this one that had the bracket for the tank here, put it over here. So Yeah, we'll have to now, once it warms up again, I will take it back out, or I'll pull it up there and pressure wash the rest of the grease and shit off of it and get her cleaned up. But I'm gonna figure out how to make me some saddle tanks that sit in here for liquid fertilizer. I'd like to have me a saddle that actually just sit right down in this, on this frame to back in here and sit down low. Keep the weight down low instead of up high like most of them are. They got tanks way up here. Right there they have it down here, but we'll see how all that goes. But definitely a lot more room here to access hoses, and I'll be able to go through, and there's some shit here I'm gonna tidy up, these freaking hoses and shit. And I'm gonna have to change a couple of these marker arm hoses, so, and that's why it's sitting here at the shop, because we got a hose maker right here, and I can literally take it and measure it and have it right here instead of having to run back and forth and not doing the right ones and all this other shit. So it's just kind of making the most sense to me. And we need to do a little wrapping on those, and then we're going to redo all 4 of those. And then probably tomorrow night's plan is to dig into the units. I had a lot more disassembling to do, and I didn't get quite everything down on that end taken care of, but there ain't much left on there to take off. It mainly unbolt. Well, actually, I'll probably leave this on here. Take this chain and this sprocket right here off. So that way, and all these sprockets, of course, off, just because it ain't going to be here, but because you got this bolts and this sprocket here. Actually, that won't be too bad to take off. We'll yeedle those off, because I gotta take these chains off and change them anyway. So, but they make it really easy to change chains on these old planters. They really, there's some bearings and shit out I need to address. I'll change those as I go. Idlers, but literally just pull that, pop the chain off, and off and going. This one here is right here for the fertilizer, but we won't need that after now. So I think I will go ahead and eat that off there probably tomorrow night, finish getting this all apart, and get a small list of stuff I can get parts in here for. And this is like your little toolbox on these planters, some little parts and some pins and springs and stuff in there. There's that chain, that comes off pretty easy. I'm changing all the chains, pretty much. They are all shit clapped and need to be changed, so while I've got it here, I'm gonna do that. Probably do all the marker arm hoses, because they're kind of shitty, especially out there on the end where they can get pinched. They've been pinched pretty bad. So sorry I didn't get many videos of this project, but I haven't done these before, so it's kind of a trick. I had to take the box off and then take the mounting off, and yeah, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't fun nonetheless. Anyhow, I'll catch y'all here later on in this video, whenever we come back to it. So, we're making progress. I remember last where we left off at, I got all the insecticide and fertilizer off, and then I picked up a set of no-till cultures for it over the weekend. And we're going to put them on tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and pull the wheels all off and change all the scrapers out so we can get them all done. We went with a spike closing wheel on one side, round on another side, and the way I was explained is you don't want all your spikes on only just one side of the unit, because it'll drag, it'll try to drift. So you have to do 2 on one side and 2 on the other side, kind of offsets them. Went through, put the new heavy duty springs on the units, put new chains on every unit of the drive, new chain on the drive wheel, and then we went ahead and put new chains and idlers on the transmission, both of those. So we made pretty good progress. We're gonna try to make some more this week. This is week 2 working on it. I do have a new cylinder coming forward. It's ordered. This one here's got the ears bent, and they welded a weird end on this. I'm gonna yank this one off and change it. Then we'll probably go through and wrap some hoses and change a couple of the hoses that are pretty wore, and then do the marker arm and lift singulation on that part of it. Once we get all that done, we'll be left to narrowing up the planter. We're actually just discussing that. We're going to, the two inner units will be really easy. Pretty much just slide them over all the way to the frame where the tongue bolts on. And then that end will be easy because you'll slide the wheel over and then slide that unit over. Not a big deal. This is the only problem child is going to be in this general direction. I want to get a longer shaft for in here so that way it reaches, because this is going to go over. And then this one will unbolt and move over to here. The transmission will have to get moved. We'll be able to leave it where it's at now. So that made that a little easier. But that's the only thing, just it's going to take a little more work on this end. But should be pretty easy. I may try to go ahead and slide the two middle ones in because they only got to come in 4 inches. Get that narrowed up. And then we'll knock out the harder parts when I can get some help to help me knock that out, because it's going to be kind of a process to move the wheels over. So we'll tonight's project, we're going to get the no-till coulters on. I'm going to change out the scrapers. These scrapers really wore, they're not even touching. And then we're going to pull these off and move a washer from the inside to the outside to get these wheels closer to the here, so that way they're touching. Right now they're not. So we're going to change that out and go with it. So we'll get all that knocked out tonight, and we should be done with the units themselves. And it'll be down to pretty much narrowing her up and doing some hose work, and she should be good to go for this year bean planting. So let's get to it. Well, we got all the no-till coulters on. I got the left and right hand side new scrapers in here on the disc openers. Went through and adjusted my gauge wheels, moved the spacers to the outside. It's got a little bit tighter, so they ride up on the seat openers, the disc openers. Got all that done. So yeah, I'm gonna call it an evening on this until I can get some help to get her slid in. Then last thing to do is hoses and that cylinder over there, and I think she's about ready to go back home. And then probably before it leaves, I'll give her one more wash job and clean off the rest of the crap and go through real fast and grease it, and then I'll take it home. But them no-till coulters look really good on there, and I'll have to adjust them whenever I get home and get it behind my tractor, because it's sitting on 28s, and that one there's got smaller tires, so I didn't really want to adjust how far my no-till coulters, how far they were down, so I'm going to do that whenever I get it home. Probably do a quick little trial run whenever I get it home, just to run everything, see how it all acts, and make sure she's good to go. But pretty much getting really close to getting this thing finished up. I'll do some more videos as I do the hoses and stuff, because I'll be up off the ground. Down on the ground, it's kind of hard, and I was moving around so much, it's kind of hard to follow what's going on there. But literally 4 bolts, each coulter, bolt her up. The only thing I had to do was just adjust side to side, make sure it was pretty much in line with the unit itself. And the seat openers took me a little doing, just because, or the scrapers, and adjusting the firmers on the side there. Took me a little adjusting to do that, but I got her done. So yeah, next project is get her slid in, do the hoses, and we will come back to you guys whenever we get to that point. So yeah, catch y'all there in a little bit. Well, got the corn planter home, got her narrowed up, all new chains put on it, bunch of wear items fixed, and we redid the hosing on here. So we're gonna take her down to the field and give her a trial here and see what she does. We just got home last night. I finished it up. I had some help narrowing it up, so I didn't get many videos of that, but we're gonna give it a shot. Ground conditions are decent, so this will be a decent trial run. We got a lot more hoses back here now. Well, Well, she seems to, everything functions, nothing flew apart. I gotta get in the book and do some reading on the bean gears and the reduction kit. I need to see if I gotta get me one of those, and then all my adjustments down on this. This is just a test dry run to see whether or not if I got everything fixed, which I'm pretty sure there's not a whole lot to these planters. As you can see though, we're running a secondary system on we took out all the T-valves here that just ran 2 hoses up to the front. We've got our marker arms run off one set of remotes, and then our up and down runs off another set of remotes. What that's for is if you get into a spot like around these poles or around a stump or sinkhole, you can raise this up and the planter stays on the ground. You can plant right up next to it, but this marker's not in danger of getting ripped off. So a guy at work actually just suggested I do that, and it seemed like that's going to work out really well. Like I said, we changed all of our chains out on every row, bunch of wear parts, sprockets, changed those out, idlers, took all the fertilizer system off, all the insecticide. Next year there's going to be a set of liquid tanks get put on here, and then probably go through, when we do the liquid, go ahead and put a set of put the KPM3 monitor system on it. That's pretty pricey, so I'm just going to piece that together as I find it on Marketplace so I can have a Kinze system for this planter, and then there'll be a sensor on every row. I know it's not hard for a 4-row, but it'd be nice to have, and I get more acres, I ain't gonna have enough time to screw with it, so it'd be nice to have a monitoring system on it. But 4 new couplers. Like I said, I made my hoses a little too long. I'm gonna have to do something about that. But I didn't know, I couldn't remember how long it was the tractor. It worked out pretty good. The quick hitch won't be on here while I'm planting because that's just gonna be in the way. But yeah, pretty excited. I've got 3 of the firmers, so I decided I was gonna wait till I got the 4th one so I can just do them all at once. So I'll do a quick little video over that whenever we get those. They're actually kind of neat. They're not the Keaton seed firmers. These are a different seed firmer. It's kind of neat, so I'll show you guys that product whenever we get there. Like I said, when we slid it in, we had to slide the transmission in. We had to slide both the wheels in, both the center units had to slide in, and then the 2 end units. And I've got to get in the book and see where to adjust these marker arms, which I've done that once on an 815 corn planter, or bean corn planter. I think you go off of one of your rows, you go out 30 inches from there, or some shit like that. I'll have to figure it out. I'll get in the book and look. Like I said, this is just a trial run, so don't make fun of the planting there. This is just screwing around with it to make sure everything seems good. We put heavy duty springs on every row, no-till coulters, the spike closing wheel. We did the scrapers. We adjusted the wheels on the side. We adjusted both of those on every row. Next year I'd like to replace these boxes and put the new poly boxes on. I got told I couldn't do that, but I think I'm gonna figure out how to do it. It shouldn't be too hard. Like I said, we're gonna put liquid on it next. It'll be a pretty cool setup when I'm done. Something I'll probably have to go into is put a set of weights on the arms just to get to where it digs a little better on this no-till type of ground. So we'll get to that sooner than later. But yeah, seemed like a pretty nice little setup. I'm gonna dick around with some more here and go put it in the barn. I got it all greased up. Like I said, I just got those rebounders to put on, and probably some more tidying up stuff that needs to be done to it, and put the meters in it, and we'll go planting. So anyhow, we'll catch y'all later. Thank y'all for watching, and appreciate you guys hanging along with this video. So catch y'all later. Thanks for watching.